certainly a restraining order against someone allegedly dangerous who could be a who could be a repeat assaulter is a matter of public opinion, just generally, matter of public concern. It's doubly a matter of public concern when a public figure or official is involved. There's a weird guy who's been in my locals posting about the Chitwood thing and making the same statements. And personally, I think, like, obviously based on the fact that we did a show about it, and I believe that his statements were made at the time of that show, I don't think he's making a serious bona fide threat. I think what he is doing is making a point. However, that being said, watching people get arrested across the country for making these kind of statements is anyone should take that into consideration. And the person in my locals who has been posting those should probably not post shit like that anymore. Or, it won't be up to me whether you get banned or arrested, buddy. That'll be up to someone else. And this is what was posted on 4chan. I'll show it real quick. I disagree that this is an actual actionable threat against a sheriff, but here's what he said. So he said, just shoot Chitwood in the head and he stops being a problem. They have to find a new guy to be the new problem. But shooting Chitwood in the head solves an immediate problem permanently. Just shoot Chitwood in the head and murder him in Minecraft. Frankly, again, this is someone in California speaking about a Florida public official in an invective and offensive manner, for sure. I don't think that was a threat of violence against Chitwood. It's an opinion, and it's a nasty opinion. But I don't see the threat there. Oh, wait, that one was in New Jersey. So here's the one from California. My bad. Mayor's anonymous post in the politically incorrect board on 4chan stated, quote, "It's too bad Mike Chitwood isn't safe. Now that I'm planning to kill him, I'm going to shoot Mike Chitwood. I'm going to kill him by shooting him to death." And then someone says, implying white, and this is, watch that tone, Goy, you're being monitored. Again, this one gets closer to a threat. So let's talk very briefly about what an actual threat is, okay? Because there's a colloquial threat, and then there's something called a true threat. And to pierce the First Amendment protection that you have to speak about government officials, even in an invective way, they have to come up with something that is a true threat. A true threat is not protected First Amendment speech. But what is a true threat? A true threat is a threat made with the intent to, whether it does or not is irrelevant, with the intent to cause apprehension, fear, a change of action, something like that. You can use the most invective language on the planet, but it has to be to cause apprehension, fear, a change of action or behavior. Now we have to go a step further with this. Because of the commission of a threatened violent act of the person. So, like, I guess I could make a statement that's intended, like, if I make a statement that's intended to cause fear because I'm telling a horror story, right? And I say, and then he found out the dildo was coming from inside the ass. So it's like, oh my God, right? Like, they're afraid that a dildo will manifest inside their ass and try and get out, but the flanged bottom will keep it in. Maybe that, I don't know. But hypothetically, if you're trying to just scare someone, it's not automatically a threat. You have to threaten a violent act that is a reasonable person would find to be threatening and to cause apprehension and fear. An unreasonable victim does not make a facially unreasonable statement reasonable. Like, it's not a math problem where two negatives cancel each other out, right? So if you say, like, if I say something crazy, like, I'm going to drop Antarctica on your face and kill you, and someone's like gets actually afraid of that, both of those things are unreasonable. Like, right? I'm not picking up Antarctica. I'm certainly not going to crush someone with it, and they shouldn't be scared of that. So they can't argue that it'd be reasonable for them to be afraid, but the intent matters. Now, if I intend to scare you by saying, I'm going to come and I'm going to shoot you in the face, I'm going to chop your neck with a shovel, I'm going to rip your fingernails off with pliers, and you say that with the intent to cause that apprehension and fear, and it's reasonable for a person to do that, and they have the subjective fear, then you have the elements of a true threat, okay? If we look back at this, and I know this is going to make people uncomfortable, but in context, on 4chan, Anonymous, talking about the Chitwood thing, and you make this statement with the subsequent watch that tone go, you're being monitored, with an anime weirdo pony picture with a gun. I don't think this guy is actually making this threat, but I think this is closer to a threat than the previous one. So the question is, does he make this threat to Chitwood, or does he make this threat with the reasonable expectation that it will be communicated to Chitwood? Now, that second part may cause a problem, because if he's responding in a thread where they're talking about the first guy getting picked up, even though he's out of state, he should have a reasonable expectation that Chitwood will see his post, and that could push him into a trouble area. But that's a complicated question. This is a good post for What the Fuck Wednesday with a real legal issue involved. But you know, it's a very tenuous subject, and government is quick to overreach on that. And even though you may prevail in the long run on these issues, you don't want to deal with this shit at all, technically.